All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy and Chief David Reimer. It's 9:01 on the 4th of May, 2022. We have a problem. Large violent tornado now in progress south of the city of Vernon. This is confirmed by our storm chaser, Alex Bartholomew, and a tornado debris signature exceeding 8,000 feet. This is what we've been worried about all day, and this is why we now have a problem. So this is going to be a tornado warning. That does not include the city of Vernon. This is going to be 4 miles southeast of the city of Lockett, moving east at 25 miles an hour. This has been described as a large, violent tornado, and it's been down for a while. So, folks, this thing's starting to actually occlude. So what is happening is this is moving almost due north now, which means those of you in Lockett. If you know anyone in Lockett, you know anyone near Lockett, you call them and tell them to get their behind into shelter now. All right, this is occluding. What's happening is we have a large violent tornado. The circulation's beginning to occlude. In this situation, that's taking a hard left. This thing was moving east-northeast. Now it's moving due north. Those of you in Lockett, you need to be in shelter now. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. This is going to be south of the city of Vernon. Vernon, this is not an issue for you right now. It's hailing in Vernon. You might have hail larger than the size of a quarter, but at this point, we're concerned about a large, violent tornado moving towards Lockett, Texas. Give me just a second to take care of some housekeeping. So if you know anyone who's south of Vernon, you know anyone who might be near Lockett, this is going to be a major, major problem. So again, this is going to be a large and extremely dangerous tornado 4 to 3 miles south of Lockett, Texas. That is off Highway 70, about 7 miles south of the city of Vernon. This circulation is turned almost due north, which means folks in Lockett, Texas need to be in shelter. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. This is a large and destructive tornado down on the ground, and it's got attitude. So those of you in Lockett, I'm going to circle what Lockett is. This is Lockett right here. This large, violent tornado, it's turned due north. What's happened is the occlusion process that we see with some of these more long-track violent tornadoes is they begin to turn north when the circulation starts to weaken. Some of these tracks you'll see literally are where they may be moving east, southeast, then they take a quick jog north. Same thing happened with the Salado tornado back in, it was last month, when we thought was moving towards Salado, took a very hard left, ended up going to a camp and a lake. Same thing's happening here. So folks, y'all need to be in shelter. All right, it's still moving north. This is a life-threatening situation for those of you in Lockett, Texas. Large, violent tornado, now getting very close to town. All right, Lockett, Texas is about 6 miles southwest of Vernon. This is 2 to 3 miles southwest of Lockett, moving northeast now at 25 miles an hour. If you are in the town of Lockett, if you are south of the city of Vernon, lowest floor, center room, away from windows, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Do not go outside and look for this thing. It's likely wrapped in rain from the north. This is a large, violent tornado that has the potential to do major damage. If you do not take it seriously, you have the possibility of being greatly injured. So please, take shelter. All right? You can see the new tornado warning due to this thing turning hard north. If you are in the city of Lockett right here, you need to be in shelter. If you are south of the city of Vernon, you need to be in shelter now. All right, this has a massive tornado debris signature. And frankly, if this thing doesn't lift soon, it's going to go right towards Vernon. Vernon, I hope this lifts before it makes it up to y'all. But we got problems if it doesn't. So again, those of you in the city of Lockett, circled there, south of the city of Vernon, be in shelter now. All right, you see the delta V on this thing. This thing's tighter than a tick's behind. This thing's got attitude. Wind's moving towards the radar over 70 miles an hour. Wind's moving away at 90. Gate-to-gate velocity over 160 miles an hour. I'm going to show you the hook. Their latest hook, massive debris ball. All right, this thing's lofting debris sky high. All right, this is what is, I mean, folks, I'm going to be honest here. If you're not in a site-built structure that's well-built in an interior room, lowest floor in a cellar, and this thing hits you, you have a high chance of being hurt or killed. You need to be in a safe place now. If you are south of the city of Vernon, be in shelter. If you're in Lockett, you need to be in shelter now. All right? No fooling with this thing. This thing's got attitude. Large, destructive tornado. You can see the velocity couplets maxing out. I mean, you can see the velocity is so strong here that the radar is having trouble actually determining the exact velocities. It's doing what we call range folding or mixing over. It's not range folding, it's essentially mixing over. I mean, here you go. If you want me to probe it, 101 miles an hour moving towards the radar, 70 moving away, now almost 180 mile per hour gate-to-gate shear. Folks, it doesn't take a scientist to realize that this is not a weak tornado. Look at that donut hole. That is, folks, this is a major tornado. Let me tell you. I'm going to turn, there's smoothing. Folks, you're literally looking inside the tornado. That's the tornado. Massive debris ball, folks. Literally, the tornado is showing up as a donut hole on the radar. If you are in the town of Lockett, if you are south of the city of Vernon, you need to be in shelter now. If you know anyone in Vernon, Lockett, southwest of Okaloonan, west of Harold, south of Tolbert, call them, tell them there is a violent tornado down, and they need to be in shelter now. Lowest, I mean, honestly, best choice here, basement, cellar, safe room. Otherwise, get in, get down, and take cover. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. This is a large, violent tornado that has the potential to do bad things. This is currently moving pretty much like this. There's the latest scan, folks. This is Lockett, you're out of time. This thing is about to be in the community of Lockett. This is Lockett. And folks, literally, there's a beware, bounded weak echo region, right in the middle of this hook. I could probably put streets on here and at least almost have them right. So I'm going to do that. Understand the urgency in my voice here and understand compared to how it was 2 hours ago when I was doing this. This is a large and extremely dangerous tornado capable of doing bad things. If you are south of Vernon, you need to be in shelter now. If you're in Lockett, you are out of time. Run. Get down now. All right, and if this keeps going, the occlusion process, I mean, at some point this is going to have to occlude, meaning it's going to have to weaken. That's what these things do. But if it doesn't do it soon, this is going to get really close to Vernon. So Vernon, I'm going to be honest, you're not technically under a tornado warning right now, but y'all in Vernon, you might as well just get in shelter. I mean, look, this is way too close. We got problems. Large and dangerous tornado is literally knocking on Lockett's door. This is Wilburger County in northwest Texas. Folks, this is a major situation, and I want you to understand the urgency in my voice. It's not Baldy in Chief going hysterical again. This is Baldy in Chief. I mean, it's in Lockett right now, the community of Lockett, where Highway 70 curves southwest, folks. I mean, pray those people were in shelter. Winds moving towards the radar about 85 miles an hour, moving away at 50. The circulation's weakening, but it's still definitely down. Okay, and this is also going to be a situation where this is probably a cyclic supercell, and we may end up having another tornado develop after this one's done. So again, if you're in Lockett, hang on. It's there. If you're in Wilburger County, it's northwest of Wichita Falls. If you're in the city of Vernon, if you're south of Vernon, you need to be in shelter. It's probably hailing in Vernon right now. But if you are south of Vernon, be in shelter now. All right, new tornado warning that includes the city of Vernon. If you're in the city of Vernon, you get in your shelter now. Large, extremely dangerous tornado. I'm seeing visuals of it, folks. This is probably what we call a wedge tornado. That means it's wider than it is tall. This is, I mean, you saw it on radar. This is not a weak, small tornado. We've got Alex Bartholomew there, reported it was a large stovepipe. If you're in the city of Vernon, you need to be in shelter now. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you know anyone in Vernon, near Vernon, east of Chillicothe, west of Electra, call them, tell them big, violent tornadoes down, the kind you might see in the movie Twister. All right? Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. I'm hoping this occlusion continues and the tornado continues to weaken. If it does, hopefully that means it's going to be gone here soon. But this thing took a really sharp left turn, just like the Salado one did last month. And it's still down. We've still got it. I mean, this debris signature you're seeing now is right over the community of Lockett. Right there. It's still there, folks. It's still there, and it's still strong. If you're in Lockett, hang on. You probably hear it. If you're in the city of Vernon, you get in shelter now. No one in their right mind should be traveling on 287 right now between Chillicothe and Electra. No one go west of Electra, go east of Chillicothe. Do not go south on Highway 70 out of Davidson. Do not go north on 183 past 277 right now, and do not go east out of Crowell on 70. Large and extremely dangerous tornado continues now very near the city of Lockett, with an extremely dangerous supercell thunderstorm. We've got chasers there reporting a large tornado. We've now got power flashes just east of Lockett reported. So this is going to be very near Lockett. Lockett is the community right here. This is Lockett. Tornado's in Lockett. That's not good. I'll be honest with you. That is not good. Okay? So Lockett, it's on the community of Lockett. Let's go ahead and measure this from Vernon. All right? Large, violent tornado about 4.5 miles southwest of the city of Vernon. If you are in the city of Vernon, you need to be in shelter now. All right? Don't play with this thing. Don't go outside and look for this thing. It's hailing right now in Vernon. Y'all are getting golf ball to baseball size hail probably. Do not even think of going outside and looking for this thing. It is wrapped in rain. I know. We have a storm chaser right there. If you want to see pictures of it, you can come look after the fact. But do not go outside and look for this thing. Large, significant tornado very near Lockett continues. Reported to be a large stovepipe tornado. It's just the shape of the tornado. It means it's a pretty potent tornado. So again, this tornado is inching closer now to the city of Vernon. If you're in Vernon, you need to be in shelter. At this point, it's going pretty much north. Almost northwest. I realize that's abnormal, but this tornado is now 3.5 to 4 miles from the city of Vernon. Moving essentially north-northeast at about 20 miles an hour. We just... So Vernon, I'll be honest, if this keeps moving northwest, it might miss town, but y'all need to be in shelter. Just got a report out of Lockett. Lockett's taking a hit. We know there's major damage. Don't know more than that right now. But those of you in Vernon, you need to be in a safe place. It's going to be lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. It's the only tornado warning in the state of Texas, and it's a doozy. So one spotter is reporting that Lockett took a hit with major damage to some homes. But again, these initial reports are going to be sketchy at times, so we'll just have to wait and see. But at this point, we need to make sure folks are in their safe place in the city of Vernon. This tornado looks to be just west of Highway 70 now, moving, honestly, northwest. This is a very long-lived occlusion cycle from what continues to be a large tornado. At some point, this tornado will likely, should theoretically lift. Now, that being said, you guys can still see this hook echo. This thing's still very well defined, so even if this tornado lifts, it's plausible that we're going to see a new tornado develop at some point. So those of you in the city of Vernon, you need to be in a safe place. It's hailing in Vernon right now. And understand, you're not going to see this if you're in Vernon. Don't go outside and look. You can see a donut hole now, west of Highway 70. That's the tornado. The radar beam is close enough to where you can actually see the top of the tornado. That's the bounded weak echo region where the tornadic winds rotating are literally, it's like a colander almost. You're flinging the rain out. So that's the bounded weak echo region. That's why there's a weak or a lower reflectivity value, because the winds are rotating the precipitation out. Switch over to velocity data, and there you go. That's still a very strong circulation. I've got a thunderstorm attacking me here in the office now, so if I by chance pop off, it's because the lightning took out the power grid again. So folks in Vernon, you need to remain in a safe place. This tornado right now is moving northwest, which would keep it west of town. This storm itself is moving east, meaning at some point, if there's a new tornado, it's going to be very near town. Now, that's thinking ahead a little bit, but we're going to be proactive about this given what just happened. This tornado is moving northwest. Yes, the opposite direction it was moving 15 minutes ago. Occlusion processes. Again, this is a situation where we have extremely dynamic kinematics and thermodynamics. It's kind of a rare mix where you get such favorable ingredients on all aspects, where you can get such significant tornadoes, and that's what we have going on right now, which is exactly why this thing is still down and moving northwest. So again, at this point, this tornado is going to stay southwest of the city of Vernon because it's moving northwest. If a new circulation develops, that is going to put this thing really close to the city of Vernon. Just got a report of a large fire near Lockett as well. So multiple structures have been significantly damaged in Lockett, according to emergency management. Another report, there's a large fire. So we got problems. And let me tell you, just in case anyone out here is thinking about it, don't you dare go to Lockett right now. There's incident command systems that go through strategic and very specific methods for ordering resources if they're needed. And at this point, we don't even know exactly what's happened here. So tornado now continues. Tornado is likely coming up to... This is going to be County Road 122 West, County Road 93 South, County Road 85 South. Tornado is moving northwest. Yeah, you heard me, northwest. It eventually, at some point, is going to completely occlude and dissipate. That hasn't happened yet.
New lowering developing southeast. The original plan, I just had one, but the whole thing's carved out. It's wide. But new lowering developing southeast of Vernon.
So that was Alex Bartholomew with the Texas Storm Chasers. He just described what I think's happening here. Old circulation, tornado that's still down, coming up on County Road 122 West and County Road 93 South, a couple miles west of Vernon. We might have the new tornadic circulation developing just southeast of the city of Vernon. Right here. That might be a new circulation starting to develop. This is old tornado that's still down and doing damage. If we have a new tornado develop, it's likely going to be near or just southeast of the city of Vernon. And this storm should still be moving east. Although the last 15 minutes have clearly shown these things can do magic tricks. It's not magic tricks, but I'm not going to explain the meteorological details of occlusion processes. And folks, I'll tell you, the initial couple hours after a incident, reports are going to come in. Some are going to be true, some are going to be false. It's not that people are trying to be malicious, it's just the way these events go. So we're going to be very careful in sharing information here. And also keep in mind that we are going to keep on with the severe weather coverage until the event is over. We need to focus on folks who are in the paths of these things versus what's happened already. So we're going to be very careful with any reports of damage, anything like that. Those of you in the city of Vernon, you need to remain in a safe place. Sorry, I'm reading data. Apparently this thing started a brush fire. Again, this whole area is still in extreme drought, so lightning outside the heavy rain has started a brush fire. in this same area. So, okay, first off, I'm going to turn off the tornado warnings just to do some analysis here. I think the tornado's finally dissipated. Notice that we no longer have a significant circulation here. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is this circulation has dissipated. That's good. Tornado's not down anymore. Now I need to see what this thing's going to do next. If the cyclic supercells, they can develop new tornadoes. So what we're going to be watching for now is waiting to see if that is what's going to happen. So regardless, tornado warnings remain in place for Vernon. And y'all in Vernon need to be in a safe place. I know it's raining, it's pouring, but understand, if this thing does put another tornado down at some point, it could be very close to town. So we want you to be in a safe place and remain in a safe place. That being said, this second, I don't believe we have a tornado down. Notice that violent circulation couplet we had is gone. No more bright reds versus bright blues. But unfortunately, we know there's damage near the town of Lockett. But it's going to be hours yet till we know specifics, and hopefully everyone was in shelter. And again, be mindful that the initial damage reports you may hear may not necessarily be the complete story. These things sometimes do have some falsehoods, not intentional, but nevertheless, you need to get things verified before spreading rumors all over social media. So again, tornado has lifted for now. Circulation finally occluded. Tornado's gone. We have pouring rain and hail on 287 through Vernon up into Davidson, Oklahoma now. We still have a tornado warning for the city of Vernon. Heading south, we know we've got a hailer in Throckmorton County. Hail about to fall in Throckmorton. This isn't really a tornadic-looking supercell, at least from this angle. Let's double check. This looks like a hailer with some strong outflow winds. And yeah, you can see the outflow boundary extending well south of that storm. So I'm not really worried about supercellular tornadoes with that. Now what we are going to do is we're going to check on this severe storm in western Oklahoma. No other tornado warnings down in the area for now. Severe storm coming into Yolve, the potential for 70-mile-an-hour winds, maybe hail over the size of a golf ball. 1 second. Okay, so it's 9:31 on the 4th of May, 2012. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Bully and Chief David Reimer. We've just had a major tornado lift just southwest of Vernon, Texas, northwest Texas. A community called Lockett has taken at least a partial hit from this significant tornado, and there's damage. I know we've got some structures damaged. I know we've got roads blocked because power poles are down. We may have had some vehicles impacted by the tornado. There's a couple rumors going around, but again, until such rumors are validated, we're not going to spread them. So at this point, we're just going to have to wait and see if this thing tries to spin up a new circulation. Right now, it looks very disorganized. No indications we have a tornado down, but given what it just did, we're going to be mindful and we're going to wait to see if this attempts to produce a new circulation. What I'm doing now is I'm checking various data points. See what we have. Okay, looks like the National Weather Service will be going with at least a severe thunderstorm warning for now. This will include Vernon, east to West Herald, up to near Frederick, Oklahoma, capable of golf ball size hail winds of 70 miles per hour. And again, no indications we have a tornado at this point, but we'll keep an eye out. I'm going to switch radars. Radar sites. We're going to take a look from a little further away. The radar we're looking from now is in close proximity to that storm, which is beneficial for good low-level analysis, but I need to see what's going on in the mid-levels of the storm. I could just tilt the radar beam up, but I'm not going to do that. I mean, still organized supercell thunderstorm. We see these storms coming into western Young County. Definitely a lot of wind. Say this. There is search and rescue operations underway in Lockett. That doesn't mean I haven't heard any reports of injuries, anything like that, but I know town took a hit. So, let's go ahead. Let's zoom out to the state. Let's see what we've got going on. Let me turn off the satellite. And we have two clusters or areas right now. We have a severe storm coming on into Uvalde, riding down Highway 90 towards Hondo. This could make it all the way to Bexar County later. This has the potential of damaging straight-line winds over 70 miles an hour. Hail larger than the size of golf balls. Further north, we have storms capable of producing golf ball-sized hail, localized damaging wind gusts over 60 miles an hour. Storm north of Anson, storm in Throckmorton County. Those storms are moving into Young County. Eventually, they'll be making their way towards Archer City. We have a supercell thunderstorm near Vernon that just completed producing a large, significant tornado that impacted the community of Lockett, where search and rescue operations are underway. We have additional thunderstorms further northwest up Highway 287 that are attempting to produce some small hail, heavy rain, localized damaging winds. We're also keeping an eye on some of these storms in western Oklahoma, though they won't impact Texas. So, it looks like tornado warnings are gone. We're down to 0 tornado warnings. The tornado warning that was in effect for Wilbarger County around Vernon has been allowed to expire. The storm's not tornadic at this point. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a bit of a break, and if this thing does go tornadic again, we'll be back in a real jiffy. But it sounds like we'll also have a new tornado watch coming out for portions of northwest Texas, western North Texas, etc. These storms you see now, we're going to be dealing with them for a while yet. So damaging straight line winds, large hail, and again, a few tornadoes remain possible. Keep an eye on the sky with the Texas Storm Chasers interactive weather radar on our website, texasstormchasers.com/radar, or in the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. Download that in the Apple app, Google Play stores. Again, we'll be back if tornado warnings are issued. I'm David-Reimer with the Texas Storm Chasers. Stay weather aware this evening.